Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to a bright and sunny episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other very cool cats. But of course, before we get to them, we got to tell you about our fine sponsors. Bell Promo, they're the home of the 12-piece minimum on everything. They offer simplified pricing, one low setup, and never repeat setups, regardless of the number of colors, locations, or decoration method. Bell Promo has the largest inventory of product styles and colors and in top categories like drinkware, bags, writing instruments, and apparel. Bell Promo offers free samples and was one of the 2022 best places to work. So be the reason someone smiles today and check out bellpromo.com with one L, B-L, or BELPROMO.com. Tell them the Industry Insider sent you. Why don't we say hello to Stephen McFadden? How are you doing?
Oh, man, doing great. I'm just remembering the beaches, even though it's like super cloudy and overcast, but I think we've all just kind of went back to the beach here, which I love.
I feel like the look is definitely just wishful thinking, but hey, I'm willing to put it into the atmosphere. Meg Erber, how are you doing?
Well, I don't know about you, but I was actually on that cruise with everybody. I was in the background.
Wrong.
You will see me in all of the pictures that I'm going to post under this this episode, and I'm in all these pictures, so you can't deny it.
Okay, so you're either photoshopping yourself into the photos, or you're using the pictures.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You took like 2 days before this cruise, so one of these things will happen.
I'm literally looking at a picture of me, Dave, and Bill right here, and Dave is literally pointing to me like this. So we'll see.
Not photoshopped at all, I'm sure.
No.
We got a very special guest today to talk about a very exciting topic. We got Alex from Shepenco, and we all love pencils, and we all love hats and glasses, and we are all copyright infringing on Alex's style. So hopefully we don't get any litigation. But how are you doing, sir?
I'm wonderful. How is it where you are today? Because it is sunny and glorious in Tennessee right now.
Nice. I wish it was sunny and glorious here, but not quite yet. We're getting there. For this time of year, it should be there, but not quite yet. But hey, we're holding out. We're hoping. All right, Alex, we're going to talk today about promocations and sort of the evolution of the sales in our industry, and the different events and things like that happen and that are coming around. But before we launch into the topic, it is customary for us to give our special guests a good 3 to 4 minutes to introduce yourself, maybe how you got started in the promotional products industry, and what you've been up to since.
Okay, well, my name is Alex. I am the sales, marketing, whatever it needs to be done around here type person at Shepenco. Shepenco is actually celebrating its 90th year of business, still 4th generation family owned and operated. I'm not part of the family, but they sure do make everybody feel like family around here. I guess the way I got in the industry about 12 years ago, I was sitting outside of Walmart holding a sign up, playing my harmonica, and Dan came by to buy himself. No, I'm just kidding. So, actually, my mother-in-law and another person who worked at the company were on the same school board together. I guess my mother-in-law got tired of me not being able to support her daughter, and so I was hired to work here. So I've been here ever since. Love it. Never knew this industry existed, like most folks say, and have learned a lot. So. Kind of before that, I was a regional manager for Bose Corporation. So I went from selling high-end home theater audio systems to selling a 14th century product in a 21st century. So here I am doing that today. Thank you very much for inviting me to this. I obviously dressed for the occasion, and everybody looks fantastic out there.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
You're extremely welcome.
Well, look, I've got a really quick disclaimer, okay? Because I've got there's a house being constructed in the front of my house, and currently the power company is out here installing power to that house. So I'm praying to God that we don't lose power during this whole situation. That would be fun. But look, we'll do what we can. We'll do what we can. All right, so evolution of sales and sales strategies and sort of different events that are out there. Like, obviously you guys just came back from Promocations, Stephen and Alex, and Promocations. It's not just cruises. All right. It is cruises. And I know they've got a promo queue coming up here in just a couple months that I definitely plan on flying in for. But a lot of really cool sort of networking and social aspects, as well as, the business side of things as well. But why don't we just get a little taste of what the Promocations cruise was all about? And we can start with Steven, sort of your take on what the event was like, and from I guess its inception, your perception of things, and sort of where it went from there.
Yeah. So, I guess taking the distributor side of this, which is, why you guys have me back every week, right? So we, I've had the opportunity and pleasure of being able to go on lots of really cool sales trips like this. Obviously trade shows are one way to do it, but there's a bunch of different varieties of things like, the facilitates and the EMEs and the power meetings and now promocations. And the idea of all of those is very similar, where there's the opportunity to network with distributors and suppliers, create those networking opportunities, and as well as having specific meeting times set up. The format of this was just a little different, where it's over probably a little bit longer period of time with less people, but with more collisions designed into the programming. This one was on a cruise. Even if I didn't like Alex, like, not jumping off the boat, right? I'm going to have to see him later that evening at dinner or something. So it's, there's all these designed connections and collisions between distributors and suppliers, which, as we've all mentioned, that's the best part of trade shows. That's the best part of everything, is these after hour portions, the drinks together at the bar, the hanging out, the weird things that'll happen. And now you put us all with plus ones, and spouses are mingling, right? And there's just all this cool opportunity to meet and greet, not just the person, but getting to know people deeper, which is interesting because I've been doing that as a distributor over the last few years with COVID, which I know we've mentioned, where I've met people's spouses and families and been inside their homes more than I ever have because of a virtual setup. Well, now, like, this is the in-person version of that, where we're on vacation with their families, right? So it was incredible. It was definitely a different experience. Less meetings than some, but it was unbelievable.
In regards to like the collisions and things, because obviously, like you had mentioned, if you didn't like Alex, you're not jumping off the boat. But there are 3,000 people on a cruise ship, something like that. So how did the collisions work? I mean, was it easy for you guys to spot other people that were part of the party that you knew were there? Or
yeah, so, and then I don't want to take away too much from the other perspective, but there was push notifications throughout where we had bar takeovers at different pools and different bars. There were takeovers, like we took over the karaoke one evening, which I don't think Alex likes to do, but maybe he can speak to that. We all had dinner together every evening, and we rotated tables. So I was with a different group every night. So that was awesome. We had our one-on-one meetings on the day at sea, which was about a 4.5 hour period in the morning, where we had 15 minutes of time with every supplier. So there was, even at ports of call, we did excursions together. There was options for excursions. And then at Coca Key, there was the Bill and Josh, and I believe Kirby, they went out, secured a spot for us in the morning with all the towels and logos at a swim up bar. So it was like home base for us while we were there. So
Aw.
there was
Nice.
all these really neat, intentional things that brought us all together periodically.
That's awesome. Well, I've got all the FOMO in the world right now because
I
I
do
wasn't
too.
there. But
Yeah.
Alex, since Steven had thrown in the karaoke event, all I want to know is, did Goose sing "Great Balls of Fire"?
Did not, because there was not a piano there for me.
Mm.
Fair enough.
So that is the problem. Yes, I was forced against my will to sing in front of masses of people. No, I've always enjoyed doing that, and it's a lot of fun, and getting people out of their shell and walking around and sticking a microphone in their face, and it's a good time.
So,
Very cool.
Alex, tell us a little bit about,
Yes.
from your perspective, why you guys decided to join Bill and Josh on this adventure, and tell us like the benefit out of it from your perspective. We want to hear it, because I know there's going to be more of these. I'm sure Bill and Josh are really going to want to use this collateral and footage, not necessarily from our show, but from promocations, to entice suppliers on future trips. But we want to hear it. Why was it worth it? Was it good for you? Tell us your side of it.
So I sell a unique product in that we don't do a lot of outside sales calls. We're blessed with a small, very tight staff, and so it requires a lot of us to not do a lot of traveling outside the office. But this came up, and we've done shows in the past. We've done room shows. We've done large meetings, trade shows, of course. And one thing that really is tough for us is to get in front, top of people's minds. We are very aware that the first thing that Steven's going to do when he goes and makes a sales call is going to be, hey, check out this new yellow pencil. No, he's probably not going to do it. He's probably going to talk about some other cool things. And if I'm not correct, then Steven, please correct me. But we know that we're kind of an and one type product. It's an add-on type product. It's an easy thing to distribute as a donation. It's a very inexpensive way to get your impressions out there. But we at Shepenco have been, I'm not going to say notorious or known for kind of our after hours networking, because that's really where the rubber meets the road in terms of laying a good foundation with good folks. And this figuratively and literally is a way to get with distributors when they have their hair let down. So, they are, we learned about, people's kids, what they do outside of work, things like that. And they learned that about us. So for us, it was a time where we could really just step back and just let them like us, or hopefully like us for who we are. And so when they get that call for a writing instrument or a pencil, they remember us, and they remember us, and maybe not necessarily the product that they're pushing immediately, but they'll know that we'll be there for them.
That's really cool.
So I thought it was great, and I love that Steven's main theme about his little monologue he just went on a few minutes ago was the bar, and there was a lot of the bar trips in this trip. But it was really spectacular. The private island was great. The excursions were great. The Bahamas were just incredible. The ship, the cast, the staff, everything just made it great. And to go on what you were saying, Jeff, how do we know where people were on a boat with 3,000 plus people? It was the push notifications, like Steven says, and you just basically follow the noise because where we were creating quite the ruckus. No, it wasn't that bad, but I don't know. It's kind of like, if you go to a theme park or something, you kind of, you will kind of know where to go. A swim up bar is an obvious place to find the majority of us. Up on a sun deck is a great place to find us. The meeting room that they had set aside for us for those 4.5 hour meetings was the very top deck of the ship, with wall to ceiling windows overlooking the entire boat. Perfect. So it was just beautiful. It was well done. It was thought out. There were a few hiccups that happened, but they were met head on and had solutions immediately. And it was just great from the second we landed in Fort Lauderdale and all met at the hotel for the night. We were one of the first to get on the boat, so we immediately established our presence then. That's really, yes, obviously. The staff was notified of our presence also, but for us at Shepenco, it was the type of trade show that we like to do, because it's really it had a lot of the after hours feel, and just the, let's talk. It's not a 45-second speed date, next person, can I scan your badge type thing. So it just, it seemed to have really worked. Of course, I've got to convince Stephen and everybody else start selling my products. So get on with that, and then we can know if it really worked. But no, it was great, and that was a really long answer to a relatively short question, Miss Meg.
No, that's fine. I actually want to know what your favorite part of the cruise was. Was it
my wife? My wife
okay.
being there. My wife, yes. My lovely bride. I don't know what the favorite part is. Asking me kind of like what my favorite kid is. I can give you an answer, but someone else is going to be upset about the answer I give. The favorite part, I just, I'm a sunshine lover, obviously. So I love being outside, and I love being with friends, and I love being with future friends. Start introducing myself to people and letting them see, letting them see, what we like to do and how we like to do it. And it just, I don't know what the best part was, honestly. The worst part was not being able to experience it longer, or bring my kids. But the best part, man, I don't know, Stephen. I'm gonna divert that one to you. What was your favorite part?
Oh man, I mean, if I have to exclude your performances at karaoke,
you do have to exclude that, because
I probably have to exclude those putt. I can't include putt either. I think, I think we had kind of a special excursion that probably takes the cake for me, because it was the moment where I think a lot of us that were on the excursion, where we kind of looked around, we're like, yeah, we're like on vacation, but we're kind of working, but we're on vacation too. Like, nice. It was a good combination. It was kind of at that moment. Alex did get to see the end of that excursion, though. We ended up pulling up in a boat. One of my favorite mini stories from this was Josh is on this boat and texts Bill and says, "Hey, we're pulling up to Senor Frogs." And I believe his response was something to the effect of, "Oh, really? I couldn't tell." Like, because we were so loud, and I think everybody in the whole restaurant knew our boat was pulling up to
and I'm pretty sure they also knew that I knew y'all were pulling up.
Yes, because as we are
welcoming.
I will check for Alex's permission before posting video, but as we
remember, hey, it's an international crime, Stephen. Let's be very very easy on what happened in the Bahamas.
That's true, what happens, but yeah, we as we're pulling up, we were warmly greeted by Alex and others, so it was fun. There was a lot of really special moments that it's just hard to, you can't. Some of these things you just can't design. Like, you can create the opportunity for them, but you don't know really what's going to happen, right? And I think events like this, and I mentioned this to Josh and Bill, it's going to be determined by the people on the boat, and by the people on the trip. If you get a different group, who knows? It could be a completely different experience, because it's the template, but what happens during that time is really up in the air until you see the people that are on it. But it was great. It was a good one.
Hey, Meg, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I figured out how to change your name.
I figured you knew how to. I like I said, I think anyone who wasn't there witnessed it the entire time, and had complete promo FOMO. I know I did, and I had just gotten off a cruise, and I'm like, no more. But like, I would have done that one. I definitely would have done that one. which I feel like this is the evolution of, and I feel like there's so much better business done. Like I said, not like I say, but as the saying goes, on the golf course. It's just out of the office,
Yes,
off the computer,
exactly. Yeah.
and you get a time to be real. And I'm sure your wife had an absolute blast getting to see the kind of people you associate with
She
outside
was
of the home.
mortified at the beginning, but then she started to let her hair down, so it was
I
good.
love it. I love
Well,
it.
that was a question I wanted to ask you, Alex, because it's a little different in my situation because Aliana, my wife, she's been to a lot of events with me and
And
not
knows that
like
we're a
this,
bunch of degenerates.
obviously,
Oh.
but she's been to trade shows, and so her experience was definitely very similar to mine. But this wasn't completely new for either of us because we have experienced industry events. So how was it for Leah? What does she think of our industry and our people and all of that?
Well, she came home and she said, I want to be in the industry.
Oh.
And I said, no, babe, we've got to have somebody that can stay home, make some money, and do something that's legitimate. She absolutely had a blast. The folks that I had been bragging about for years, she got to finally put a face with a name. And the folks that I kind of went through and scrolled and said, hey, this guy's got similar interest to us. This guy, like, whatever, and just. She really liked it. She loved the camaraderie. She loved the sense of oneness. The group, I do believe, was a perfect size group. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was only about 12 distributors there.
11 distributors, 13 suppliers.
Yes. So my about was correct. So I was spot on. And so I think the group size was great. So that allowed her to kind of float around and talk to people and. Just once again, she does. She gives me great credit for a guy like me being able to land a girl like her. It only takes one time. So, but she had a spectacular time, and she wants to do it again as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm definitely got the promo FOMO, and I'm surprised that your wife still wants to be in the industry after meeting Steven and hanging out with him for a week. But
well, I had to talk her off the ledge.
We were the tamer of the bunch. I think.
I believe that though.
You were.
I do.
Yes. Well, who? Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
No kissing and telling, Alex.
I really love the idea and the premise behind promocations, because we all, especially the suppliers, we all say that there's so much more that gets done at a trade show off the trade show floor than actually on the trade show floor. So I think there's definitely a place for this type of event, and I'm excited to participate in future events. But Steven, I'm going to ask a critical question from the distributor's standpoint. Does doing something like this really change your buying habits? And if so, like how much and how so?
Yeah. So, honestly speaking, obviously, so when I went to a power meeting years ago and I walked into a meeting, I remember mentioning to somebody, I've never heard of you guys, and them saying, oh, awesome. Like, you're the perfect type of person that we want to meet. And I didn't understand honestly what that meant at first, because I was like, shouldn't you be embarrassed? Like, I've never heard of you. Or they're like, no, it's like you need to have new people, because if you don't have new people, what's the point? Like, you're just catching up on current projects. Mm-hmm. But the opportunity for someone that you've never met is so much greater, right? And so I kind of now look at it the same way of with a supplier I've never heard of. What opportunities have I, are there here? And I obviously want to go into each of these meetings with that open mind of figuring out, okay, who are these folks? Of the 13, there were two or three I've never heard of. So that's a pretty big percentage of a small group. It's considering I've been in the industry for 17 years now, or whatever it is, 16 years. I'm like, how is it that I've never heard of two of these companies? There was 3 or 4, I'd say 4 or 5 of those that I don't do hardly any business with, and the rest of it I was catching up on. And so all of those I see as awesome opportunities, not only for the suppliers, but for us as distributors to then say, oh, okay, why have we, just because we've heard of you, maybe it's because we didn't understand who you were, and now we have that opportunity to learn. So to answer directly, it does affect. I don't think it changes too much with those that we already know and already work with, because now that just strengthens our relationship, if or it gives us the opportunity to talk about issues that we've had or insights, very more intentional conversations with that. But for a going to market strategy, those that are new or those that we don't do enough business with, I put out I sent an email out yesterday to our team and outlined of those 6 people that we don't work with or new companies. Hey, here's some cool things that I learned about each of these customers while I was out there. And here's how you should be looking at these. And here's your contacts. Alex is your guy, Shepenco for outside. Right. So I went through and I listed them all out and talked about reasons why we should consider these companies based on our meeting. So not just myself, but now there's 4 other salespeople that have that same information. And so we're intentional about it. I do think it makes us better salespeople. And yeah, so I think it was good.
100%. And I've said it so many times. Sorry, real quick, Jeff. This is a relationship industry. We do business with people that we know and the people that we trust. And now you guys have formed this relationship that there could be 5 other pencil suppliers in our industry, but you are always going to go through Alex because now you guys have built that relationship. It's growing. You guys are friends now, and that's your pencil guy.
True that.
Alex, from the supplier standpoint, how do you handle doing an event like this? Because obviously you don't necessarily know who's coming. You don't know from what territory they're coming from. So for a company like yourself, are you then personally handling all the follow-up from this show? Or are you personally handling that personal relationship with those people because you've established that now? Or do you guys delegate internally? Or how does a supplier handle something like this?
Well, the first thing we have to do is get clearance to leave the state. So once we have the clearance to leave the state, then we can start the vacation / trip aspect of it. But when we get back, I'm going to be the one, pretty much how we break out the roles of senior management, if you want to call it senior management at Shepenco, is basically I'm in charge of what goes on outside of the building. So if it has to do with a trade show or follow up or website design, whatever, that's what I'll do. So I will be the one that's following up with everybody, not just because that's what I do, but also because I think it's easier to follow up with someone since we've met. We've talked, we've gone over the business. I've got notes that I can say, hey, remember we talked about this, or hey, when's your daughter's dance recital? Whatever. Those are the types of things that I don't want to delegate those responsibilities. I do the ones for the trade shows as well. But particularly this one, I want to make sure I get it right. And it's on me if there's an issue, concern, or a victory for that matter. So, I'm going to be the one that handles those things.
Got it. Awesome.
So,
Meg,
Stephen, consider this our follow-up, just so I can write this
dance recitals coming up, I believe, next weekend.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I will go
appreciate
ahead.
You remember, man. That was great.
I'll get pencil 1 fueled up and ready to go, and I'll be headed out there. So
that's awesome. Meg, what other questions do you have as a fellow promo FOMO outsider of the Promocations cruise? What follow-up questions do you have, and what are your intentions with Promocations moving forward?
Well, I was just looking up the future events, the barbecue. I think that's coming up, and I already have an email ready to go to my RVP to see if I can go and be a part of it.
Hold on, you got an email already?
I have it ready to go, but I haven't.
She's typing one up.
The email. Okay, I was going to say, hold on now. I'm going to get pissed.
No, wait. What
Bill,
day,
we're going to have a conversation.
Do we have a day for that yet?
There's a couple of them. I think there's one on June 30th and then one on July 2nd.
June 30th. Checking my
calendar.
thriving social calendar.
And they did announce the other promo cruise, I believe.
Oh.
Yes, I believe that's the weekend after Halloween.
Yeah, I'll say it's in November, the first week in November, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting. Okay. And I, again, I can't say enough about these things. I am going to Mexico next month on a customer-based trip, and I know it's myself and a few other supplier reps.
Which part?
I think Cancun. I don't really remember, but
I will be in Cancun in June also.
Okay.
So
June 8th to the 11th. Maybe I'll see the
just
shirtless dude.
once again, follow the noise.
I will.
That's where you'll find
Maybe
us.
we'll be at the same trip. Actually, now that I think about it.
No, this is a non-work trip that I'm going
Okay.
on.
All right. But I'm really looking forward to it because it gives me, I've already been in this office like 2 or 3 times this year. I know all the reps, but now we get a chance to sit down and just have some fun and let loose. And I get to be Meg Erber, outside of work and see what they're going to be with their, their plus ones and VJs going. So I think it's going to be my little promocation, but not with provocations. That's all. But I'm looking forward to all the future events and hopefully I'll get to be a part of them because I have all the swag. I am like,
you were dressed up.
I am that. Yep.
Something like that.
There we go. Go ahead, Jeff. What were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say, I'm looking at the promocations promo queue, and I was trying to figure out which one I was gonna try to go to because they've got, like you said, one June 30th, and then one. Well, no, the July 2nd one is 2024, Meg. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh no,
so
I didn't see that.
Next year.
Okay.
So this year it is June 30th. All right. I was saying, I was like, I didn't remember there being 2, especially like that close to each other.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that was weird.
Yeah, so June 30th. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that they wanted to get through promocations and the cruise first before they started really pushing this one out or marketing it. But I know it's right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to getting some information about that and booking flights and doing all that good stuff. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Anything that you'd like to add, Stephen, Alex, about promocations to wrap this up?
Go ahead, Alex. Yes,
I'm obviously once in my life I'm speechless. So no, I don't know. I mean, there's if anybody has any questions or just wants some more clarity on something, I'm absolutely free to talk with anybody. If anybody out there in the cyber world needs to know more, I'd be happy to give a personal testimony for it. But it's cool, it's great, and it's got to work because I mean it's got all the formulas of being a fantastic meeting time, and it's just up to us to go out and sell the soap. Get it done.
Now, Alex, I know you said you've got to get permission to leave the state, but since Promo Q is in Tennessee, I'm assuming you're going to be there. Yes.
Yeah, I should be there with my ankle bracelet. So since I'm in the state, that should be just fine. And it's actually that's 4th of July weekend. So Nashville has a pretty awesome 4th of July celebration. So if you are able to come in, Meg is turning 22, so that's great also. But if you're able to come in and stay some time, there's an awesome show Saturday night downtown Nashville, and then of course all their fireworks extravaganza is pretty good stuff. So
that's what they'd mentioned in the when you click on the information for the promo queue is that they picked that one in particular because they're hoping maybe people can do like a longer weekend and stay for the 4th of July. So all the festivities are that weekend. I guess it was July 2nd or something like that.
So I know that July 1st is Saturday night. There's a big concert at Bridgestone Arena downtown that I will be attending. Of course, Sunday's probably going to be the fireworks show, is my guess. And that takes place just outside of downtown in what's called Centennial Park. It has in the past. It may be downtown again, but so that's going to be it's going to be big. It's going to be fun to find a hotel room, tell you that. But I got a spare room for the first 3 people that email me. So there's that.
Nice, very cool. All right, well, Stephen, anything else to add promocations wise?
No, the only thing I would say is if you're curious about it, definitely go, or wanting to know more about it. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures and comments and posts that I would go and take a look at just to see kind of a little bit more about it. Yeah, not to rub it in. They're not pictures to make you jealous. They're just pictures to get for information.
But how many of these towels do you have?
I have 2.
I don't recall that towel. You've got a special towel. That's amazing.
I won all these contests.
Those are the ones at Coco Key. They were all on the chairs.
That's not the Coco K one, is it?
Yeah, that's the waffle weave one, right?
I don't know. It's the
I
one
thought
that I
it
got.
had like the Nassau flag looking thing.
It might have.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I'm what? And
I was mistaken.
record that for my
Your
glorious
wife.
bride. So
Yeah, you are correct, sir. Those ones have the Nassau flag, and I am heavily mistaken. And
no, you are not. That
I
is
won't
not
let that
true
happen
at all.
again.
Now, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, and I think that the thing that's the most approachable about the promo queue is that it is like a 1-day, 2-day type of event. It's much smaller. It's a little bit more manageable and bite size, I think, for somebody that wants to kind of step into this. So, and I could be completely wrong because I haven't received any information about it, but I know it's not a 5-day cruise or whatever. So, it should be a little bit more manageable for people that want to kind of take that step. So I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm going to come. So, yeah. Hopefully everybody on this podcast will be there as well. That'd be really nice,
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Very cool. Well, guys, really appreciated having you guys on. It was super, super fun to kind of chit chat with you and find out a little bit more that we missed in all the photos and, just to increase that FOMO. So the episode was brought to you by our good friends over at Bell Promo, and they're the home of the 12-piece minimum on everything. They offer simplified pricing, one low setup, and never repeat setups, regardless of the number of colors, locations, or decoration methods. Bell Promo has the largest inventory of product styles and colors in the top categories like drinkware, bags, writing instruments, and apparel. Bell Promo offers free samples and was one of the 2022 best places to work. So be the reason someone smiles today and go check them out at bellpromo.com. BELPROMO.com. Alex, thanks for joining us, man. It was nice to get to chat with you a little bit, and looking forward to seeing you in person in June at the promo queue.
Hey, you could have chosen anybody, and I truly appreciate y'all choosing me to come on. So it's an honor, privilege, and thank you again. Y'all are spectacular folks.
Thank you, man.
And Stephen.
And
Thanks, man. I was waiting.
All right, guys. Until next time, we'll be seeing you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of PromoCorner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit PromoCorner.com.